Hi everyone, and thank you for joining this spinal mobility Pilates for riders session. Having good movement through our spines is so key for us being able to move freely and strongly and securely with our horse, whether that's through our low back and pelvis movement, or whether it's being able to turn for our lateral movement or move with the horse from side to side if they spook or when you're jumping. So absolutely key, and it doesn't matter if you're really stiff or you're really mobile, you still want to be working on the control elements of these particular movements. So let's get going, and I'd like you to start by checking that your head is nice and light and floating upwards. Your spine feels like it's made of elastic and your arms are soft. Feel like you're opening through the front of your shoulders and that your ribs are sinking down towards your pelvis. Check your headlights are pointing straight ahead, and then make sure you can tilt them up and down so you're isolating that movement to your low back and pelvis. It's kind of the movement you're doing in the saddle, so you want to make sure that you can do that nice and smoothly. Then think about your pelvic floor, starting from ground floor, floor 0, see if you can lift onto floor 3, keeping the breathing nice and regular. Remember, floor 10, top floor, everything's doing this. So coming up onto floor 3, but keeping the breathing nice and smooth. Soften through your knees and make sure you've got equal weight through both of your feet. We're going to start with your neck, doing some tucks and turns. So a little tuck in with your chin, keep that tuck as you turn to one side, and keep the tuck as you turn to the other side. You want to keep the tuck all the way through those movements, because that then means that you're working your deep neck muscles really effectively. If you're losing the tuck, you've stopped working those deep neck muscles. Okie doke. We're going to move on to your bow and arrow exercise. So you want to have one foot in front of the other. So think headlights forwards, hands up, take one hand to your shoulder, turn over that shoulder, and then face the front, the same thing the other way. So hand back into that turn and then to the front, keeping your headlights pointing to the front all the time. So this is quite a simple exercise, but I do often find that people find that one side is easier to do, either you feel a bit more mobile to one side or your balance is a bit easier to one side. Let's swap and do the same thing with the other foot in front. So hands up, hand back into that turn. Headlights staying to the front, so you're just really moving through your spine. We'll do one more each way. Lovely. Okay, bring your feet back underneath you. I do hope you can see me okay. I've had a few technical issues today, so the sun's come around a little bit more than I'd hoped, but there we go. Okay, with your knees soft, take one hand down to the side. Slowly come up, and then you're going to go down to the other side. And slowly up. Keep your knees really soft as you go. Don't try and force that movement. Okay, then you're going to bring your arms up above your head. And then you're going to reach up with one hand and relax. Then reach up with the other hand and relax, keeping your knees really soft all the way through, so you make that movement as big as you can. Then we're going to go to the end of your mat with your feet sort of together, knees nice and soft, hands on the front of your thighs, tuck your chin into your chest, and you're sliding your hands down, curling up through your spine. Nice big breath in, breathe out, bend your knees, tuck down with your pelvis, and then you're stacking back up through the whole of your spine, chin being the last bit to come up. And again, chin into your chest and feel like every single vertebra is moving one at a time. Upper back, mid back, low back, then your pelvis. Now a nice big breath in, breathe out, bend your knees down onto your mat. And we're going to start off with your cobra. I hope you can see my feet okay. I'm trying to keep my grass a bit longer this summer. Arms out to the side, elbows bent about 90 degrees, tip of your nose resting into the floor. Then you're scooping forwards and up, and scooping down and in. So forwards and up, down and in. If you want to go a little bit further, bring your hands slightly out and your elbows slightly forwards, and you can come up onto your hands and then back down. So whichever one you're doing, the reverse of what you just did with your roll down, peeling up through your chest and tummy, and then laying back down through your tummy and then your chest. One last one. Okay, we're going to turn onto your side next to have a go at doing your open arms. So, arms out in front, knees bent wherever feels comfortable. If you're using headrest, head to the front. Take your top arm up and out behind, look at your hand, and then skim the floor over your head to come back. Into the reverse, skim the floor out behind, up over in front. So you're doing a kind of circle, keeping your knees pressed into the floor as you go. We'll do one more this way. And then we're going to turn onto your back to do your shoulder bridge. Nice and simple one. Bring your feet a little bit closer to your bottom than you think you need to have them. Pelvic floor onto floor 3. Then you're going to roll your pelvis back, imprint your back into the floor, and then you're peeling up each vertebra in turn until you get to the top of your shoulder bridge. Nice relaxed breathing at the top, straight line, shoulders, headlights to knees, and then bring yourself back down through your imprint to neutral. So it's imprint, peel up, relaxed breathing, come back down, imprinting at the bottom. And I want you just to really think of the simple side of this exercise, nothing complicated. Just feeling that every single vertebra peels up and comes back down one at a time. Feeling that your spine is a bicycle chain or string of pearls. Just gently on the move. Each segment moving, doing its little bit. Do one more of this one. And then I'd like you to bring your feet and knees together and take your arms out to the side. We're going to do a double hip twist. So you're rolling your knees to one side, look over the opposite shoulder. Up the top and same the other way. Try to keep your feet glued to each other so your top foot comes off the floor. Hope you can see my top foot. That way your legs move together. It means your pelvis moves just a little bit more. And that then means that your spine moves a bit more, so you get a much greater effect from the exercise. We'll do one more. And that's definitely one that will highlight if you are stiffer to one side. And it's nothing to worry about, you just want to keep working on it. We are going to go, as you spotted, onto the other side to do your open arms once again. So arms out in front, knees bent wherever is comfortable, head on the front of your headrest if you are using one. Take your top hand up and out behind. And then skim the floor through the plants if you're in the garden. And then you're skimming the floor above your head. Look at your hand behind you. And over back in front, keeping those knees glued together. So you're anchoring your pelvis, anchoring the lower half of your body, and maximising that movement through your spine. Okay, we're going to come up into sitting. I'm going to have a little go at doing the mermaid in a seated position. This is quite nice because it really increases the work or the movement up through your body because your pelvis is fixed. So one hand onto the floor beside you, and you're going to take your other arm over your head and back up. Now if you're feeling really mobile, you can try and get your elbow onto the floor, but just watch, in doing that you don't just lift off through your seat bones. So if you can get your elbow down and keep your seat bones down, fantastic, but don't worry if you can't. We'll do one more this way. And then we'll go to the other side. So hand over into that stretch. And again, if you can get your elbow down, I'm not quite so good this way. That's a bit more work to do, but we're not forcing it. Two more. Last one. to bring your arms up and out into a V shape. Then gently take your arms behind you, so you're arching through your upper and mid back. And then gently come back up to the top. So you're arching through your mid back and up to the top. I'm going to go sideways just so you can see it's a really small movement. Gentle arch backwards and then come up again. So you're not trying to go too far, it really is just through your upper and mid back. We're going to do one more. And then bring your arms back down by your side. And then I'd like you just in this seated position, however you are sat, to make sure that your seat bones are equal underneath you. Your spine is feeling like it's made of elastic. Your arms and hands are soft. And you're able to breathe in a nice relaxed way down to the base of your lungs. And we are going to finish there. So well done for doing all of those. Just a little word, you don't need to keep doing this whole session all the time, but if you find that you are stiffer moving to one side, say particularly with the double hip twist or with the open arms ones on your side, if you are consistently stiffer to one side, it's always worth factoring that into your day-to-day routine a little bit. These are really easy exercises to do. You can do them on your bed provided it's not too soft, or you can just pop on the floor for a couple of minutes. It can make a real difference to how well or how evenly you move with your horse. So it's really well worth spending a few minutes every day working on your slightly stiffer side. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you found it useful. Thank you so much for watching. Have a lovely time riding your ponies, whatever you're doing, and I will see you again very soon. Bye bye.